There's nothing we can do. The great millennial career crisis has workers given up on ever owning homes or paying off their student loans. This is a MarketWatch story. Rob, I don't think you have a video on this one here, but I will go to the story. If you got the article you want to bring up, there you go. Christopher Drake, 39, has made a nice career for himself as a process engineer, but he isn't where he'd like to be at this point in his life and career due to what he says are broken promises from growing up as a millennial. It sucks. There's nothing we can do. Drake from Corning, New York, told MarketWatch, our age bracket was told you have to go to college, get a degree to be successful. But he found out that even those who worked hard instead of partying during their college years got a serious reality check after graduation. And in the years since then, the jobs aren't there. Drake left college a decade ago with $120,000 in student loan debt, which he says sits at around $150 today, despite years of payments due to high interest rates on his loans. A lot of my friends and I discuss how there are a lot of people our age that have just given up. Drake is going through what many of his peers online are calling the great millennial career crisis, a generational struggle defined by burnout, financial insecurity, and a lack of stability by adults ages 29 to 44. Videos of these frustrated 30, 40-something Americans discussing their personal traits have garnered hundreds of thousands of views on social media, particularly on TikTok. Brandon, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a victim mindset for him to say this, but it is true that you definitely have to approach life differently today, I think, than you did 20, 30 years ago because of the way that things are going with the inflation, the devaluation of money. I do think that it is like a bad situation for you if you just rely on a salary. If you're starting your career off now, like I don't think that 100 or 200,000 is gonna take care of yourself and a family. So I think that if you don't start a business or if you're not like in a commission based job where there is like uncapped upside for you, you're in a tough situation. But it's a victim mindset to say that it's helpless and you're giving up. I think you just have to be more exceptional than ever today as a young person, and that doesn't happen overnight. It's a rigorous thing that you have to be obsessive about, and not everybody's gonna do it because it's probably like an 80-20 thing with people who are willing to do what it takes to be exceptional. But that's my opinion on it.
How do you feel about it, Mark? Because, you have two daughters, married 22 years. So this is something where, you probably talk to your girls about, their friends probably come over and say, hey, Mark, what do you think I should do? All this other stuff. How does this language make you feel? And do you agree with them?
Yeah, so he says here that due to broken promises. The broken promises are that he went to university, and the problem is that the university gave him went to a industrial era university that gave him an industrial era lens and equipped him for an industrial era world, and he's now graduated and find out that he's no longer in an industrial era, and we've left the information age and we're now in the intelligence age. So they're unequipped. They don't have the right tools. They don't know how to look at the world. And so now the broken promise is that the world that they were equipped for and trained for no longer exists. That's the problem. The paradox is this. It's never been harder to survive right now with a college degree because wages haven't kept up with prices.
Which is true.
But the paradox is that it's never been easier to make money than it is today. We have $20 trillion that was printed in the last 5 years that's sloshing around in the economy. And with a laptop and some AI, you could go make 100 grand or $1 million or 10 million very quickly. So it's never been harder with an industrial era lens. It's never been easier if you could realize that the world has changed. So how do I answer this as a father of two? Neither of my daughters are going to college. Neither.
Really?
No way. No way. The number one.
What grade are they in right now?
I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old daughter. So one's a junior, one's out.
So the one that's out, what does she do?
She's learning how to make money.
Is she having a hard time doing it?
No, she's making money. She can make money very easily. So she went to a trade school.
Okay.
She went to a trade school. She became a holistic health coach.
Okay.
So she spent $10,000, $5,000 plus another $5,000 in a trade school, right? She's a holistic health coach. She's doing holistic chefing. She just got her Pilates certification. She has built up a decent audience. She's selling diet plans and she's making money. She's not looking for a job. My kids never look for a job. They just learned how to make money.
How was she in school? What was her GPA? Was she a high 4.0?
She was 4.0 all the way across.
So no problem with grades.
Sort of like me, she was didn't have to try. She did very well, but there was no university for her. I believe in the intelligence age, even the information age, the single most important skill is creativity. because now we have technical workers at our disposal. So now I have to see a problem, have a creative way to solve the problem, and I have to organize the orchestra to play the song that I want, right? And so school is specifically designed to remove creativity. That is the intended purpose. To remove creativity and keep people in a box. The number one thing we need today. That's why people like this get out and they can't see all the opportunity because they have zero creativity.
Okay, so this is a great, folks, this is phenomenal for you. Let me explain to you why. You have two girls, 21 and 16. Neither one of them you're saying are going to college. Tom, you have two girls, 19 and 14, right?
Correct.
Am I saying it correctly?
That's exactly
So
right.
that means exactly your girls are 2 years apart. The oldest, they're 5 years apart, 5 years apart,
5
right?
years apart, yeah.
So he's behind you by 2. Your oldest goes to a very well-known school. She got a 1560 on her SATs, and she's going to the college route. How different is your position than the one Mark just gave?
Well, my oldest is majoring in 2 STEM. She's a double major, statistics and analytics. And she is spending herself looking over my shoulder at startups and the engine of new business. So I would not have sent her simply to be a chemical engineer and come back with your
Or a
degree.
liberal arts degree.
Oh, yeah, well, that's off the table. We had a joke at our house and went like this. If you want to go study European art history at the Sorbonne in France, I hope your boyfriend has wealthy parents that love you more than I do,
Right.
that are willing to pay that bill. So that was always off the table. So she has a mentality of, right now she's coding in R, she's coding in Python, she's in statistics, and in 5 years she will have a double major and a master's of stats.
Amazing.
However, our focus on this is that weaponizes you to do what you want or to engage with a startup. Last year, her freshman to sophomore summer break, she did 6 weeks with a startup working with them. And before that, her break between senior year and freshman year, she did 9 weeks with a startup. That one was remote. But I'm putting her in the river of creativity of people who are doing things for the future. But if that wasn't available, she wouldn't. Funny we bring this up, her little sister, we often talk now because I talk more to the little one than the older one because the little one's now an only child.
Right.
Because her 5-year older sister is at school.
Right.
And so we've had these conversations recently. You know, if you think of something, maybe you're Mark Zuckerberg, maybe you don't go to college.
Yeah.
But I want to put you in the river of creativity so you can see what new businesses are doing and what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because she has a non-blood uncle that's sitting right over here, and she knows his educational background and what he built and where he went and what he did. And she has seen the conventions and the result of it. So we're a split household right now.
Here's where we align. I believe that college is an important path for many people. I certainly want my heart surgeon to have gone to college if I were to have heart surgery. But college was never meant for the masses. So college was for elite people to get elite training, to get elite jobs. It was never for the masses. Now
Like cardiologists or nuclear physicists.
Right. And now you have the masses that are in there, and it's a supply-demand thing. There's not enough elite-level jobs. So the old days was go to school, get a good job. But that's past. It's not mass. Number two, what I would say to that is that if you need that specialty training like the STEM and follow her dad, that's great. Most people don't. A trade school like my daughter went to, I think, is good enough. And I would just also reframe what I think trade schools are today. So I think trades, if you break it down, is a specialty skill. So we typically think of it as like a blue-collar skill, welding, plumbing, framing, something like that. And if I wanted to build a house or a building, I would call in trades, right? But today we have digital trades, we have soft trades. So if I want to build a business, I also call in trades, a social media person, an accountant, a bookkeeper, a video editor, and those are also trades as well today. And so I think a lot of people could just go to school or learn how to be a video editor or learn how to be a social media manager or learn how to be a copywriter, and they could make a lot of money applying those trades to multiple businesses. I think the world's changed and most people just need to catch up with that.
I like what both of you guys said because the way I judge people's kids is in the following way, and I'll test them all the time, and they don't even know I'm doing it. We'll go to dinner, and I'll just ask pointed questions. So, Bailey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Brooke, what do you think about it? What happens with kids with this? What are kids in school right now saying about what happened with Charlie Kirk? What are they saying about what's going on with Iran? What are they saying about this person that's a content creator? What do they think about this? And I'll do this with Grace. I'll do this with my niece. she asks me questions about Israel. She'll ask me questions about Iran. Like controversial topics, I want to ask them to see if their brain is creative enough to process the issue. And then I'll ask someone, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, who? No, I don't know. I don't care. I don't this. That's a lazy way of thinking, and your parents made you think that way.
Yeah.
So you can have two parents. One goes the university route, one goes the no college route, and they can both end up being successful because the parents are teaching critical thinking. There's too many empty conversations. Like yesterday, Dylan and I are sitting and he's doing homework. It's another one of those nights, Tom, to 11:30 he's doing homework. Now, here's the part. He had a basketball game and practice yesterday, and he had a 3-hour soccer practice. So the guy leaves school at 3 o'clock, basketball till 4:30, soccer till 9:30, comes home, showers, 10:15, sitting with me. We're there till midnight doing homework together. And, I'm stuck on this thing. Why are you stuck on it? Well, if the area of the triangle is 15.3 and the base is 4.5, I'm giving you the exact numbers, 4.5, and the formula is area equals half times base versus height. What is the height? Well, okay, what is half of, 4.5, 2.25? Okay, what is 15.3 divided by 2.25? I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. What's 1,530 divided by 225? Well, I can do that. Well, then just move a couple decimal points. Go ahead and do it. And what's the number? Comes out with 6.8. That's exactly the number I run to. What happened here? I got the number right. Yeah, you know how to do this stuff. Like, you got to push critical thinking. You got to push for them to come up with a solution. And sometimes I think we waste too much time talking nonsense. Like, even if you're watching football, ask the question, do you think that was the right play? Do you think they did the right thing? Do you think they should have called a timeout? Do you think that the timeout was at the right time? Should he have, intentional grounding, or should they have done that to save the timeout? That would have taken 6 seconds. Why did they call a timeout? These are moments to use the brain to do critical thinking. I don't know what percentage of parents do that. If you're in our environment, and I bet it's probably the same with you as well, we're always asking stuff like this. And it's strategic. Tom, I think you want to say something.
Because what you just said was so funny, because Bailey and I spent time watching NFL playoff game that had teams that we didn't really care one way or the other about. We're just waiting for the Niner game so Mom can go crazy. None of the rest of us are Niner fans. And we were talking about coaching decision-making. And Bailey came to the conclusion at the end, says, well, no wonder they're talking about firing that guy, even if they win this game. Because we're talking about decision-making. We're talking about football. What a great play. What an athlete. No, it's like, why would he make that decision like that? Why would he risk that? Why would they do that? And I said, well, maybe the guy's hurt. Maybe this here. Well, it certainly didn't turn out well, and he owns the decision, doesn't he? I said, he sure does. Well, no wonder people want to fire him.
Yeah, and I just think that's the muscle that if parents are watching this and they're kind of like, well, I'm part of Mark's camp. No, I'm part of Tom's camp. As long as you're part of the critical thinking camp, your kids are going to be fine long term. If you're not having these types of questions you're posing to them, you're going to have your kids that don't know how to think for themselves and make arguments. Present your argument why you believe this is the case.
If I could just add on to that just real quickly, I would just frame this as that I am not against education. I'm 100% pro voracious education. But education is something that you're interested in that helps you solve the problem to take you to the path that you want to go down.
For those of you that run small businesses, this is one thing that most people are not aware of. We run a consulting firm, ourselves called David Consulting, where we do engagements with around 10,000 businesses from 60 plus countries around the world. And this is 75% of our business. It's one of the best kept secrets we have in our company that no one knows about. If you come to our office and you see how we grew 9 employees just a couple of years ago to now 165 full-time employees, and if you go downstairs on where David Consulting is at, the energy there is electrifying. If you're a small business owner yourself, anywhere between 10 million plus $500 million revenue, if you're on that range and you want to find a way to get strategies, because each phase of a company goes through 5 phases, and each phase you have 5 challenges you face. If you want to know what those things are, go to beddavid.com, all the way to the bottom, fill out the information. We'll give you that 18-minute breakdown of what those 5x5 are. And then if there's a way we can help you take your business to the next level, whether you're raising capital, whether you have a compensation plan that needs to be readjusted. We just had the most incredible meeting last week with our firm on Tuesday and on Thursday, whether it's comp, whether it's LTIP, equity, whether it's expanding in a new market, regulation, marketing, podcast, different ways of getting your story out there. You want to learn more about how we can help you out, go to beddavid.com. fill out your information. One of our consultants at the firm will get a hold of you. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.